This video clarifies the options open to customers wishing to connect their sites to the electricity network in the UK. It explains the crossover from DNOs, distribution network operators, via the ESO, electricity system operator, to the TOs, transmission operators. The transmission network is utilised for the bulk, often long-distance, movement of electricity at high voltages, 400 kV and 275 kV across the UK. The distribution network is utilised for the electricity provision to many customers through lower voltage, more localised networks, from 132 kV to 240 volts in England and Wales and 33 kV to 240 volts in Scotland. The movement of electricity is enabled using transformers, which step up and down between the different voltage levels on the transmission and distribution networks. The boundaries between transmission and distribution networks are located at large substations called grid supply points, GSPs. The benefits of this interconnection include security of supply. Providing the UK with a continuous and uninterrupted electricity supply requires electricity networks to continue to provide electricity even if parts of the transmission or distribution networks fail. Interconnected networks allow exploitation of the capacity and location of individual generation sources and demand to maintain security of supply. Spare generation capacity. Additional generating capacity is needed to cover for understated demand forecasts and for generating plant being unavailable due to plant breakdown, routine shutdowns, delay in commissioning of new units, or adverse weather. Surplus generation capacity in one area can cover shortfalls elsewhere, reducing the need for spare capacity across the whole network. Reduction in frequency response. System frequency varies continuously and depends on a careful balance between demand, customers drawing electricity from the network, and generation, customers pushing electricity onto the network. Interconnection allows the frequency of the system to be controlled without each separate system having to maintain its own frequency. The northern region of our distribution network area, Scottish Hydro-Electric Power Distribution, SHEPD, is served by SSEN Transmission. They are responsible for the electricity transmission network in the north of Scotland, maintaining and investing in the following voltages: 132 kV, 275 kV and 400 kV. The transmission network 132 kV, 275 kV and 400 kV in the southern part of Scotland is owned and maintained by Scottish Power Energy Networks. The southern region of our distribution network area, Southern Electric Power Distribution, SEPD, is served by National Grid Electricity Transmission, NGET, who own, maintain and invest in the 275 kV and 400 kV network in England and Wales. The role of National Grid Electricity System Operator, NGESO, is to move electricity around the country second by second to ensure that the right amount of electricity is where it's needed, when it's needed, always keeping supply and demand in perfect balance. In Northern Ireland Electricity maintain and operate both the transmission and distribution networks. Depending on the size of their project, customers have the option to apply for connections at all levels of the electricity network in the UK. Customers who are seeking connections for projects like housing developments, industrial or commercial units, and small-scale generation, solar installations, wind farms, battery sites, typically connect at the distribution levels of the network, up to 132 kV in England and Wales and up to 33 kV in Scotland. Customers who are seeking to connect generation projects at a higher voltage, connecting at 275 kV or 400 kV, can apply to NGESO or NGET for a connection to the transmission network in England and Wales. In Scotland, generators seeking connections at 132 kV or above can apply to SSEN Transmission or SP Energy Networks. Customers who are seeking to connect larger-scale demand sites can choose between connecting at distribution or transmission levels by applying to DNOs or TOs. Sites connecting onto the distribution network may require NG-ESO or TOs to study impact of their connection on the transmission networks due to the interconnection between transmission and distribution. Customers who apply to NG-ESO to connect their sites onto the tertiary windings at GSPs may be required to undertake a distribution impact assessment, which allows DNOs to study the impact of their connection on the distribution network. Customers seeking a connection to the distribution electricity network should apply to the relevant DNO in accordance with the geographical location of their proposed site or project. Information on how to apply can be found via the below links. Customers seeking a connection to the transmission electricity network should apply to the relevant ESO and TO in accordance with the geographical location of their proposed site or project. Information on how to apply can be found via the below links. Hopefully, this short film has been helpful in providing you an overview of the options open to customers wishing to connect their sites to the electricity network in the UK at SSEN.